Welcome to Ramblings with Joe. Today's podcast, ignored by their own parties, is about the top 10 things that the parties are ignoring about their constituents and what they want. I'm looking at this from the outside as an independent, not part of either party, not trying to get you to change parties or base core values, because I think these are your base core values. And when you step outside of that partisan box that we all live in and you look and you see what they're doing and why they're doing it, you start to understand that it's not the other party that's evil, but it's the people who are leading us and not taking care of these basic things that are evil. And this becomes more and more self-evident the more you realize that they're just ignoring these things that you want taken care of. Stock trading. That's number one. 86% of Americans want this to stop, want our congressional members and our presidential, anybody high up in the political atmosphere, they want them to stop trading stocks on an individual basis. We have the Democrats at 88%, the Republicans at 87%, and the independents at 81%. It's really simple. We don't want you to make a living off of the stock market when you are our political leaders. And you're not going to change this because you want that money. You have inside information and you don't think that that's a problem. Meanwhile, the vast majority of Americans think that you're basically gaming the system and stealing from it. Dark money and donor contributions. This is really simple as well. The vast majorities of Americans want you to stop receiving anonymous donations. Every penny that any politician receives should be public and spotlighted. And the media should take care of that and show us who it is. The Democrats are at 88%, the Republicans are at 85%, and the independents are at 84%. Further, money in politics, which is number 3, should have campaign spending limits. I personally don't agree with this one, but hey, I think that if every American citizen wants to donate some money to you, you should be able to spend it all. I don't think that any corporation that delivers you some money you should be able to spend. I don't think that any corporation should be able to give you money. I don't think any political organization should be able to give you any money. I think that all of your money for your campaign should come from individuals in America, citizens in America. And beyond that, I don't think you should have any money from any other organization. That's pretty simple and self-limiting. Number 4, we have congressional term limits. That's kind of self-explanatory. And I don't agree with this 100%. But what I think doesn't matter, because the vast majority of Americans want this done. They want you to have term limits in Congress, but you don't want to have term limits in Congress because that would affect the last 3 points, which is money, dark money, and stock trading. So really what I'm saying is that would affect your money. And now we have age limits for Americans. The vast majority of Americans want age limits for politicians. I mean, Democrats 78%, Republicans 83%, and Independents 79%. The numbers speak for themselves. Unlimited campaign contributions treated as free speech. Across the board, 72% of Americans want this done away with. Both parties, they just want this done away with. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And the idea that money is free speech, well, it's only free speech if you're taking it from corporations and entities that have so much money they can afford to give it to you at the levels that you're now taking it. I mean, if you have to be more conscious of how much money you're spending, you're not going to spend as much. And I think the way to limit that is to not allow contributions and to only allow individual contributions. And I think that would solve that problem. At any rate, the vast majority, over 70%, want that done. So the next one's really contentious right now. It's AI data centers, and that's number 7. And the idea that anybody would want a data center next to their house, well, that goes without saying. That's not something anybody wants. And the reason they're building these data centers next to houses is they need the infrastructure. They need the electricity and the water. I mean, once it's built, I don't think they really need that many people. So there's not a whole upside as far as employment goes. They want the infrastructure. And I kind of have to agree with the majority here, which is 75% of Democrats, 74% of independents, and 63% of Republicans are saying don't build these data centers in our communities. For the most part, they're not saying don't build the data centers. But what they really are saying, whether they know it or not, is build your data centers somewhere remote and supply your own power and water. Full stop. Nobody cares at that point. Do what you're going to do. But the infrastructure is very expensive, so they want to use your infrastructure, and the law of supply and demand comes in, and you have to end up paying more for electricity and water. Here's a very contentious one. Iran war, number 8. 57% say it was a wrong decision to attack Iran. Democrats say 89% say it was wrong. Independents, 85% say it was wrong. I'm part of that group. And Republicans, the majority, say it was right decision, which is 63% overall. But the overall Republicans are supporting the president's decision. But the majority of Americans thought it was the wrong move. Now, the next few are a little bit more ambiguous, but there is a clear majority of Americans who believe this. Deficit spending. Large majorities prefer spending cuts or balanced budgets over continued high deficits. There's many polls that have gone and asked the Americans about this, and it's over, I think, 60%. I don't have the actual stat here. I don't know why I didn't write that down, because I'm not a professional podcaster. Democrats and Republicans differ on how this happens. Obviously, Republicans want tax cuts and lowering the spending, and Democrats want, I'm not sure what they want, honestly, because I think they want to shuffle the spending around so that you're not spending as much on the military and whatnot. But at some point, you have to, if you don't want deficit spending, you have to spend less. It's just like budgets at home. You have to spend less. And number 10, mass warrantless surveillance, flock cameras. I know that there are other systems out there, but there's over 110,000 flock surveillance cameras out there. I know they're only license plate readers. Okay, well, if we all carry around a tracking chip and we allow the government to track that chip, we're not just letting them track the chip, they're tracking us. Tags are assigned to individuals, and these are all stored, I know, only for 30 days. Well, I mean, I think the point of the Fourth Amendment is to kind of keep the government in check. So if they decide to make a move on the American citizens, they don't have all that information. Whether it's 30 days or a year, you're breaking the Fourth Amendment. The vast majority of Americans disagree with either the actual use of any flock technology, tracking technology, or how they're being used. The idea that we just don't care, we're just going to keep allowing it. Well, your party doesn't care. They don't care what you think in general. The party in general wants to keep doing what they're doing, and they're going to use every mechanism that they can to steer you away from looking at what they're not doing that you want them to do. It's horrible. And it is un-American. And the idea that they can just continue to ignore what you, the American people, not talking to the Democrats and the Republicans, I'm talking to both. Both of you agree on these things, and they continue to find ways to divide you so that you don't see what they're not doing and how they're not doing what you want them to do. Both parties are doing this, and there's no sign that they're going to stop, and we continue to let them. I cannot believe that we are again having socialists build up in America. It's shown over and over again that socialism doesn't work. But because our politicians can't seem to understand that what they're doing in this tyranny of business within the government is forcing younger people to move towards socialism once again, it's self-defeating. Eventually, things go bad. I hope that you think about this. I hope that you come to realize that we actually do agree on more than we disagree. Whether you're on the left, the right, the center, or an independent standing out in the, ether, not participating, we all can agree that the government officials, the politicians, are not doing their job, which is to take us in a direction that we want to go. The majority is speaking. I hope that you have a wonderful day. I hope that you find peace, love, and dream. Until next time, lahi throat.